You ever blown up a duck, Grandma?
No, I never work in the restaurant like
you
that.
You don't put a tube in.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very, very special episode of Fung Bros Food. So right now we are in suburban New York with Awkwafina and her grandmother, and today we are going to be eating Beijing food.
Beijing 家常便饭.
So this is my grandma, Poa. She's known as Grandma Fina. My grandma is very good at talking about which region's food sucks and which region's food is dope. She is an excellent cook, and she is from Beijing.
You speak Cantonese as well.
Say something in Cantonese.
No,
that's
a dirty word.
So we have a whole bunch of food laid out on the table. We also bought a bunch of other Beijing food from a local restaurant. Let's eat! All right, you guys, before us, we have a Beijing feast. Very first thing that you get into when you talk about Beijing food is Beijing duck or Peking duck.
When I was in Beijing, I was there for a while. They would bring this out on a cart.
And they'd slice it,
and then they'd slice it, and they're like violins in the back.
Grandma, why do they call it Peking and not Beijing?
Americans can't say Jing Beijing.
So Americans liked it a lot.
Yeah.
People go to Beijing. The two things they must do are one, visit the Great Wall of China, and two, eat Peking duck.
Yeah.
You know how they make
it's a different way.
Duck?
How?
They get a duck from the lake. They get the tube in there. They blow the skin all open. The American use all the machines, but the Chinese use.
We use our own hot breath. You ever blown up a duck, Grandma?
No, I never work in the restaurant like
you
that.
You don't put a tube in.
Dripping down
Okay.
from the bottom.
So you wrap it from the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like a burrito.
It's like a burrito.
Just like a burrito, you know.
Okay.
That's lit, right, Grandma?
Next up, we have Grandma Fina's world famous Jjajangmian, which is the black sauce noodles.
Already.
Because the soybean sauce that is used is so salty and kind of oily, you do want to douse it and kind of cool it down with some cucumber.
Yeah, my grandma used to yell at me for not putting too much noodle and more sauce. She always told me to put more noodle if you're gonna put more sauce because it's so salty.
So we would call this shredded vinegar potatoes or 土豆丝.
I use this red potato at Idaho because they're too soft.
This is crispy, so it's almost like eating a raw potato.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem like a little healthier.
You cut the very thin.
It probably has the consistency of like a radish.
Yes,
but it tastes kind of like a potato. Obviously.
That's like a Beijing thing. They love lotus. They love like radishes.
Yeah.
They love all that kind of like crispy, starchy texture.
This is jianbing, essentially what would be a Chinese breakfast burrito.
Jianbing is poor people eat, like xiaomi.
I could see how this could be something that, as my grandma would say, poor people eat.
No, they do. That's all they do. Because
how do you know?
I watch the old DVDs sometimes.
I thought she was gonna say, you know how I know? Because I used to be poor.
Traditionally, there is no meat. It's just a crepe with sometimes, I believe, a fried donut.
Oil. You want this?
This is the best part, Grandma.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, so this is a stir-fried egg and tomato. How do you say it in Chinese, Grandma?
西红柿炒鸡蛋.
How come it's so long? That's like the longest name ever.
The concept of tomato egg doesn't really make a lot of sense to me if you're thinking about it in a Western sense. Tomato is a very acidic, watery, juicy egg. You don't want your eggs all soaky and soggy and wet. I know that a lot of people, it's gonna sound like a weird dish, but trust me, you guys just gotta try it.
So the next thing I'm gonna introduce is the hot and sour soup. A lot of people think this is an inauthentic dish. It actually has authentic roots. Something you actually grow up eating in Beijing?
Yeah, my grandma loves this soup. This is the only soup she'll order from the takeouts.
Something that told me that it wasn't Americanized
is the wood ear.
The wood ear, exactly.
Wood ear.
Why would it have wood ears if it was American?
I remember when I was little and I was like, Grandma, what is this? And Grandma goes, wood ear. And I'm like, what? What is it? Like, wood ear? Say it.
Weird.
So it goes to show you guys, if you learn anything from this video, hot and sour soup is authentic. All right, we got to get into the next dish. We have huie over here, right? And boiled dumplings.
China New Year's they eat the 饺子 because they look like when old times they use the money, the metal money, looks this way, 元宝 scallion pancake, 葱油饼.
It's a cross between a scallion filled pizza crust and pancake.
Let's all think of a dish that we could incorporate Bing into from American food. Nachos.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I could do a pizza.
Okay.
I watch nachos.
It's like just chips with the cheese. They put cheese and everything and the chili on it.
Oh, I never eat that.
Remember when you accidentally sent me to a Bible camp for like 3 years?
This is
锦江肉丝.
Jinjiang rosi, which is a shredded pork in braised sauce, I believe. Normally, they would serve this with, I believe, carrots, cucumbers, and maybe even a wrap. I believe that this is the original version of the mushu wrap.
The original.
This is the cumin lamb dish.
Xinjiang
Xinjiang肉.
That is very spicy.
Oh, the cumin lamb?
Yeah.
This is considered a Beijing dish is because, if you guys don't know, China actually has a lot of, I guess, Muslim influence from the West.
Yeah, Xinjiang is a really super crazy province where everyone speaks a dialect of Chinese, are mostly Muslim, and they also look Middle Eastern, but they're Chinese. They have a lot of like Middle Eastern influenced dishes. It was my favorite to eat in Beijing, Xinjiang food.
Yo, this was such a great Beijing feast though.
We gotta go into some rapid fire questions. We will call this the hot seat, or should I say the mala seat. What are some basic stereotypes of the different regions of Chinese people?
Shandong people is very honest,
Okay.
very nice people.
Because that's where she's from.
No. Beijing people know how to do business, how to talk people into it. Tianjin people is a kind of slick.
What?
Slick.
Slick.
Slick. Okay. One thing that Chinese people should all be proud of.
Because not lazy.
Is it interesting to see now like how different things are?
Different, but it's not normal. The young people, too spoiled, too fast,
Yeah.
too rich.
You
Yeah,
have
that's a good
concerns about China's future because they're
moving
growing
too
too
fast.
fast.
Your kids
Drive
are so
slow,
spoiled.
China.
Yeah.
In America, why does it seem like Asian girls like white guys so much?
I don't know.
What do you prefer?
I already married, I'm so old.
You don't like older Australian men?
No.
For me, like I was raised with speaking Chinese, but I'm lucky that my grandma could speak to me in English, because if she couldn't, then I would probably, a lot of things would be lost. And there's still a lot of things I want to learn, like how to make jjajangmian and things like that, you know?
If you learn how to make a rice.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching that Beijing episode of Fung Bros Food featuring Awkwafina and Grandma Fina. All right, in the comment section below, make sure number 1, you let us know what you thought of the food that we ate today. What was your favorite dish? Number 2, make sure you let us know what region of the world your grandparents come from. And number 3, make sure you leave a tip about how you communicate or could better communicate with the older generations.
And until next time, we out.
Peace.
再见.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. My grandma and I had very much fun, right?
I did, yeah.
Check me out, Awkwafina on YouTube, Young Funny on Snapchat. Check out Neighbors too. Okay, bye.